Hey guys, welcome to Enjoy the Little Things with Steve.
And Jared.
Alright guys, so today we're going to be tackling a favorite topic of mine. It's called, this little show, I'm sure you've heard of it, it's called Rick and Morty.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have to make a special request here. If, I know a lot of people take tests to see how smart they are, IQ tests. If your IQ is below 150, we're going to have to ask you to turn off the... No, I'm sorry. That's the only meme and reference I'll make this whole episode.
Before we jump in, I just want to put like a disclaimer kind of thing that we don't... If you don't like the show, then you don't like the show. I'm not gonna... This isn't about making you want to like the show. It's more about, as we do on this channel, we just want to show you that it's not as bad as it seems, and we honestly want to tackle not the show itself or your opinion of the show, but your opinion of the fans of the show, because it's honestly the fans that are the big problem I'm seeing with a lot of people, and they don't want to give the show a chance because they don't like how the fans are acting towards people who don't like it, when in reality they just don't like the show.
I've had, on multiple occasions, someone approach me and say, I just haven't checked it out because of the fan base, or I can't get into it because of the fan base.
Same with me.
And I've heard that about a lot of shows, but I've heard this a lot about Rick and Morty because I probably don't need to specify why. I think people know why people hate the Rick and Morty fan base at this point. Or, like, the outspoken high schooler fan base of Rick and Morty. Because you don't see fucking people that are 26 watching this show going into a McDonald's and screeching like a fucking idiot.
Rick! 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 I'm Pickle Rick! Rick!
So I think we should talk about, because both of us are fans of the show, and I think we should explain how we got into it. So it started with me, and I remember it was I don't remember what time of year it was. It was before it was before season 1 came out, and I was watching TV one night, channel surfing, and then I just happened to see an advertisement because I was probably watching like Family Guy on Adult Swim or some shit. I don't know.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know, not the best. It was a rough night, but it was made better because out of nowhere I see the trailer for Rick and Morty, and all I saw was the trailer, and they were like, "Oh, but brand new animated series coming to Adult Swim," and I'm watching this, and it looked entertaining. It looked like right up my alley, and I was like, this looks interesting. I want to give this a shot.
Morty just wants to be an ordinary 12-year-old.
I need your help, Morty!
But with a grandpa like Rick,
Parker, right here, Morty, right here.
easier said than done.
Did you just come into the cafeteria through a portal?
Yeah! You can get his number later. Come on, Morty.
Adult Swim presents a new comedy from Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland.
Calm down. You're kind of killing the vibe in here.
Rick and Morty, Mondays at 10:30 on Adult Swim. Science makes sense. Family doesn't.
And sure enough, it came out, and I was more than happy with what I saw. Minus, one episode? Anatomy Park was like the only one out of the whole first season I didn't really enjoy. But other than that, I was very pleased with the show. I thought it hit its marks well. I thought it knew what it wanted to be, and I found it entertaining, and I thought it was a funny show. So, the first thing I said, it was like halfway through the season, and I was like, I gotta call Jared.
Okay, and let me lead with this, and it's just how I am. I really don't like when people approach me and say, you need to watch this, you need to listen to this, you need to do that. I like to discover things on my own, so I get pretty stubborn about checking out people's recommendations. So
I didn't back down.
He did not back down, and not in a bad way. He wasn't annoying about it, but there was one day I just was over his house, and he just put it on, so I couldn't escape. And I'm happy he did, because there was a reason why he was pushing me to get it. I very much enjoyed the show, and I'm happy that you kept on me to watch it. Like I said, you weren't annoying about it. You just enjoyed it, and you knew I would like it, and I was stubborn. But I'm really happy. The show's great. It's not like this amazing genius level bullshit like some people like try to make it out to be. It's just a genuinely funny adult-oriented show, which there's not a lot of anymore, or it ever was really. A lot of the adult humor is just like, oh, we can say fuck and that's funny.
or shit.
It's like, oh, look at guys, we could swear.
Yeah, honestly, besides that one, the only adult cartoon that's like keeps my attention is South Park.
Yeah, because South Park has not a message, but they have a purpose behind everything that they do, and like that's the opposite of like Family Guy.
And I like to watch Family Guy. I don't. It's not the same as it used to be, but I still enjoy it.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying about it.
Yeah. But moving forward, we both got into it fairly early. He got into it obviously right from the start.
Right at the beginning.
And I got into it. It was before season 2 had come out, when I first watched it. So we got into it pretty early. It was before the fan base exploded, which it happens.
It was still an under the radar Adult Swim kind of show, and I liked it like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say it was like Venture Bros, which is a great show on Adult Swim, but like you're not gonna fucking see people going into a McDonald's for fucking Venture Bros shit. But that's besides the point. Season 2 is really where like things took off. Yeah. And it's where the fan base started becoming what it is. And we should say something, that the fan base as a whole is genuinely pretty good people, but there's a very particular outspoken group. And I'm going to make the argument that a lot of these people are just letting fucking like 15 to 18-year-old fucking people still in high school dictate if like, oh, I don't like the fan base. Like, no, you don't like the kids who watch the show. The people who clearly missed the joke of the episode. The people who just shout like Pickle Rick and all of these references all the time, completely like missing what makes the show funny. It's not the funny one-liners in the show that makes the show funny. It's the situations that they get into, the ridiculous concepts that they get into, and just the overall like how the characters interact. It's just a good show to watch, but all they get is the references, and and then they make fun of it saying it's a smart show. It's smart. You can't see my air quotes because we're on a mic. But it's intelligent, it's written well, but it's not for fucking geniuses. But I think people know that, and that's just a meme.
I think the first fans that really started making trouble were like the people, because what happened was oh, do you watch this show? And then some people or their friends or whatever would be like, or in a chat room, whatever, they'd say, nah, it's just not for me. I don't really like it. I don't get the humor. That's fine. If you don't get the humor, I'm not, humor is a very specific taste.
Humor is incredibly subjective. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And then these people they come back with, oh, you're just not intelligent enough to get the show. How about you hold the fuck up and back up a little bit?
Chill down, fucking Socrates.
Yeah, like, Rick and Morty you're not smart enough to understand Rick and Morty. He burps in almost every sentence, and there's so many fart jokes and racist humor. Like, you don't have, it's not rocket science to understand the humor. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's all about taste.
You gotta put these seeds inside your butt. What doing pheromones out of that? You will right. Maybe.
There's some deep concepts I suppose it goes into, but like
that Beth episode you love.
Should we just get into that now then?
Go ahead.
Season 3, the Beth episode. I want to just say this, and I understand that was not the most gut-wrenching, laughing episode of the entire season, but it certainly dealt with it was much more human, much more real, and you got to dive into a character that, to be honest with you, was just the mother, and she was a horse doctor, or a veterinarian, whatever. And, like, that's, like, we knew a little bit about her. She was Rick's granddaughter. She was smart, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that Beth episode was really the first time in 3 seasons that we got a lot more in-depth look at Beth other than just her relationship with Jerry. And I thought it was a good episode. Obviously not the funniest fucking episode in the whole world. And, it's probably not like I'm going to go back and watch that over and over again.
Even Rick Evil Morty. Could you argue Evil Morty is a very well-developed storyline going on?
There's been 2 episodes.
Yeah, there have been 2 episodes.
Both those episodes are great, but, like, I think the reason why people were pissed about the Beth episode is because it didn't have the funny one-liners. And, the key point in all of this, and the point that I feel like just hits home more now and more and more nowadays, is that online, it very much is an echo chamber. It's very much people bouncing around the same shit. So just because a lot of people on fucking Twitter are bitching about an episode does not mean that the majority of the fan base likes that or thinks like that. But that's just what happens nowadays, because online, people are going to shout about something they hate more than they like. It's just how things are. Negativity spreads online. Positivity really doesn't. So you get the vocal minority of people who just hate everything, and they're just shouting about it all the time, and like that's what people's impressions of the fan base end up becoming. You don't not just the people who turn on, watch the episode, don't feel the need to share how much they like the episode, and just go to bed. They don't post about it on Twitter how much they enjoyed that episode or enjoyed the season, because they don't give a shit about what other people think of their opinions. They're like, all right, I enjoyed that show. I don't need the validation from other people to think that they like the show as well. Because the only people who are online shouting about things that they hate are other people looking for the validation because they're not secure with themselves or their opinions. It's fine to share your thoughts and opinions, but it's so obvious when you can see that people are just like, oh, does everyone else agree with me, right? Haha, guys, right? Right? And then, they'll get people to agree with them because it's fucking Twitter, it's online, it's Facebook, whatever. And it sucks that we get so many people complaining about the unemotional episode, like Beth seeing how much of a piece of shit Rick can be and learning from that, being like, oh, am I a fucking clone? Which is obviously the one thing people take from that episode because it's, it's like, what if? What are they going to do with this? It's going to be interesting. But you wouldn't have gotten that cool mystery if you hadn't gone through that whole episode. So I don't know, man. I just honestly think that the internet is just giving people an impression of every fan base because, like I said, it's an echo chamber. It's what people see. It's basically people are looking at the YouTube comments and being like, that's a good showing of society.
And if you want, when you look at society, when it comes to this show, it didn't help because when anything nowadays, especially with this show, it got big. It got recognition, then started going to Comic-Con and getting more recognition that way. And then probably the most annoying fucking thing that could have possibly happened was the goddamn Szechuan sauce problem.
Holy
that
shit.
happened.
Dude, it was just the fucking sauce they mentioned in the episode. It was kind of funny that they found this fucking obscure thing.
It was hilarious.
But for the love of fucking God, don't harass minimum wage employees like a fucking entitled piece of shit. That should just go without saying, but then look at the people who did it. Fucking kids in high school, stupid fucking kids. That's not a representation of the fucking fan base of an adult show. You're just seeing the fucking kids who think it's cool to watch it.
Even Dan Harmon called out both McDonald's and the fans about that exact situation where he was like, well, why would they serve a demand for something like that when it's not even worth it? And then also, why are our fans harassing these minimum wage employees because there was a limited supply? He's like, this whole situation was stupid, and he probably regrets making that decision for that joke.
Justin Rowland actually also had something to say on that, too.
Kenny, what did he say?
He said it was, I think in his words, it was very unfortunate that happened, and he felt for the employees. And he's like, I didn't expect that. Because you wouldn't expect that. No. You're like, I just wrote a joke about a fucking sauce from McDonald's.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, and I thought this would be a really obscure reference. It would be funny.
And then you just get people who are like, oh my God, Szechuan. By the way, if you have tried it, it's just fucking a teriyaki.
It's just teriyaki sauce, isn't it?
It's nothing special. It's decent. I had it once. I would never have it again. But holy shit, dude! It just was referenced in a fucking show, and people lose their shit.
Yeah, and there was the video of that kid that got on the counter and started screaming Szechuan sauce and pickle Rick and shit. And I hope to God it was fake. Because it really concerns me that a citizen of the United States would jump on a countertop and start acting like that when fucking...
Dude, I have no faith. I want to believe that's fake. I want to is the key word, but I have in the back of my head, I'm like, it could easily be real.
The bottom line of that is even if it wasn't fake, you could tell the employees were not in on it.
And the other thing is, that one situation, that may have been one of the extremes, but then you look at other shit, and, these people are fucking, standing outside McDonald's, shouting, and, they're fucking protesting McDonald's because they don't have Szechuan sauce. God damn it.
The bottom line is that you shouldn't, if you want to get an accurate review on something, talk to somebody your own age and that shares your own like personal qualities on such things, because when you go on the internet, you don't know who you're talking to, and it could very well just be a fucking like 14-year-old kid who is just gonna scream Pickle Rick at you anyway, and such and such.
I learned this, like, not recently, but you start to realize something. The older you get, you realize, because as a kid, like, this is a little bit of an aside, but, like, I would play, like, Halo 3 or Halo Reach or, like, a game online, and I'd be like, why don't these other people have mics in? And then over time, I realized that it wasn't just that they were antisocial. More so the people who don't have a mic in are just adults.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to fucking talk to these people. I just want to play this game.
Because they know what they're going to get into when they jump on.
I still fucking talk to people on, like, Xbox Live. And the majority of people I run into are insufferable, and I only, like, can stand one match of the game with them. And then I leave. Because I'm like, I'm not a glutton for fucking punishment. I'm not going to stay with these people I don't like just to make fun of them. I'm just going to leave. But, like, that's the problem, is, like, the majority of fucking people talking online are between the ages of fucking 14 to maybe 20. Yep. Because the older you get, the less you fucking give a shit about what people online think. And so you just kind of stop talking on it. And the people who do keep talking just get a headache every time they look at, like, a YouTube comments or a Twitter post or whatever. Because you're like, that makes no fucking sense, and any logical person wouldn't think like that. But then you realize that these people aren't logical because they're fucking young, and they haven't, like, come into their own, so they think it's hysterical to shout Pickle Rick.
They haven't matured yet, is probably what you're aiming at.
Yeah, like, they're not mature, which is, it sucks that people are not going to watch this show because some fucking immature kids or high schoolers or whatever make the fan base look like shit. This happens with every fucking show, or everything for that matter. Look at the Sonic fan base.
Oh, God.
Like, the majority of older people who, like, this guy comes into my store. I work at a liquor store, just for a reference, and the guy walks in, he has a fucking Sonic and Knuckles tattoo. He doesn't shout references to it all the fucking time. He doesn't even bring attention to it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
No, but he fucking came in, and I was already talking about one of the older Sonic games, and I just had, he was like, oh, yeah, he started talking to me about it, but, like, that was just because it came up. He wasn't going to bring up the Sonic tattoo. It just meant a lot to him as a kid, so he got a fucking tattoo of it. But that was it. It's just like, you don't have to let everyone around you constantly know what you like. And you don't have to shout references to it. The dude's not coming in every fucking day and seeing, like, gotta go fast. It's like, no. He just enjoys it. And that's okay to him. And that, like, you're not going to get that from fucking kids because they're looking for validation. They want, like, even an 18-year-old, realistically speaking, they're still looking around and be like, is everyone into what I'm into? I hope I'm, like, fitting in. That's why you hear these people, like, shouting online about shit. Because they're fucking younger. And like, if God fucking forbid, dude, the fucking YouTubers who just pander to that group. Because they're a large group of fucking people. So you got these people on YouTube making these videos just agreeing with them, and they're just going to get them in fucking droves. Because, like, oh, that person agrees with me. In reality, I'm not going to say the YouTubers also don't agree, but, like, these YouTubers are typically, like, 20 to 24-year-olds. And I'm like, dude, really? You're mad about this? You're just fucking pandering to high schoolers right now.
Their fan base.
I should bring up one more thing about Season 3 really quickly, and I just want to get it across, is, like, there were some people bitching about the fact that there were female writers on the show. And I shouldn't have to explain why that's fucked up, and I shouldn't have to explain why that's pathetic.
But here we go.
No, I'm not going to.
Oh.
I honestly don't want to waste a breath on it. Because those people, like, you're not going to get through to the people who were mad about a female. There's no debating with them. They're just set in their ways. I'm just putting that out there. If you're mad about a female writing for a show like that, and then you're, like, pointing, it's like, oh, because there's female writers, you get the best episode. It's more emotional than the other show. I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. It's like, really? It's like, is that, I'm sorry, I don't want to even, I'm already giving them more of, like,
giving them more what they want.
More time than I want to, like, waste on these people. But let's just leave it, at those people are never going to change, and that also shouldn't affect people's opinions about a fucking television show. The only thing that should affect your opinion about anything is the fucking product itself, not how people deal with the product. I think is the key point of this whole episode here.
Yeah. So what I want to, the bottom line here is that, again, I'll repeat, we're not here to change your opinion. If you have seen the show, few episodes maybe, and you don't like it, then you don't like it. We're not here to change your opinion. We're here to just help you explain on why you should aim your anger at different people if you don't like it. So don't blame the show because it's bad, or if you don't like it, blame the fan base for, in a way, ruining your view of the show.
Oh, well, if you don't like the show, you don't like the show. And if you don't like the writing in the show, then you could blame the writers, I suppose.
It's not for you.
Yeah, like
fine.
I don't like Dan Harmon's writing. Like that's not me talking. I enjoy him, but like I just don't like how Dan Harmon does humor. I like it just kind of feels like some of it's too random. Some of it's like some deep cuts that I don't find funny. Cause like I get it, but it's so stupid that people are like, I don't watch it because of the fan base. It's like you're only hurting yourself, man. Maybe you'll like it. Like you're saying we're not changing people's opinions about the show, and you're right, but it bothers me that people aren't even going to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for those of you who are watching this or listening to this and have not seen anything of the show and still have the same opinions as people who hate the show because of the fans, I urge you to give it a chance, because if you're into science fiction and you'd like to have a good time, this show is really for you. It's a funny show. And it's entertaining, and I honestly think you should give it a chance. And if I could give a suggestion, I'm not trying to choose favorites here, but if you want to give the show a chance, I suggest you watch the second episode of season 1. It's the one with the dogs.
Yeah, no, that's the one I always recommend to people. If I'm honestly like, I don't even recommend Rick and Morty because I just avoid this conversation.
Because we never know what we're gonna get into.
Yeah, I don't know what's about to happen, so I just kind of keep my mouth shut about it. But yeah, no, if you want to start watching the show, watch that second episode. You can watch the first one; it's a good episode.
The pilot's good too.
The pilot's good, but like, just give that second episode a watch, and if you don't like that episode, you're not gonna like the rest of the show.
Yeah, I would say the pilot episode is a good way to introduce the characters of Rick and Morty because it's just them. And how they interact and how like their character relationship works, but then the second episode really brings in the rest of the cast and the entire world of the show in a way, and it shows you what the writers and creators of this show can really do with this idea they have, and it honestly pays off in my opinion. And look, if you haven't seen the show, please, I highly recommend those first 2 episodes, and if you don't like it after that, then the show's not for you, and that's just fine. You're not going to like anything after that because it really kind of just, like, sticks to that same formula for a long time. Yeah, they do evolve and they do have, like, extending storylines like we said with the evil Morty character who is in season 1, I believe, doesn't come back till 3. So there are separating story elements in this show that do carry on, but those first 2 episodes really do, like, nail down how this show works. And if you're not going to like those 2 episodes, then try and find something else because then it's not going to work out.
Why aren't people patient anymore?
I wish I had the answer. Probably because we live in a world where we get everything so fucking fast.
Because for fuck's sake, guys. The other thing that deeply bothers me is like, why isn't the next season out? Why isn't things out?
Well, give it a minute.
Let them fucking finish it. Let them make something you're going to enjoy instead of rushing it and then you bitch about it later on. Just be fucking patient, dude. I can't stand this shit.
You know what annoyed me a lot? When they announced that they got renewed for 70 episodes, and then all these people on YouTube were like, what's this mean? And
it just means that they got renewed.
Exactly. There's 70 more episodes. That probably means, like, I don't know, 5 more seasons at the most? Or at the least, maybe?
I would honestly prefer 7 seasons.
Probably
10 episodes a season.
Yeah, but then some of them, like, one season's like 13, so give or take.
But, like, these people, like, it's not out yet. It's not, oh my god, the wait is so, like, holy shit, just shut the fuck up. You have 2 really, like, this is back when season 3 wasn't out, like, you have 2 really good seasons of a show.
Yeah.
You have a shit ton of other shit you can go watch, do, or experience in the fucking meantime. I understand loving it and wanting it to be out, but, like, the genuine anger, like, this happens everywhere.
Oh yeah.
A video game gets delayed because it's not finished. People are bitching about it, but then they bitch about it when it gets released unfinished. Like there's no give or take.
Yeah.
Like it's just people's patience is gone because of how the internet has affected life. And again, this is just like the vocal people on the fucking internet.
And to relate to our last episode about The Last Jedi, I feel like these new Star Wars movies would be more appreciated if they were spread out more. Because when you look at the first 3, they were spread out between 3 years and they were more anticipated. Whereas nowadays, these new ones come out once a year and the effect, I would say, is ruined. So with Rick and Morty, I would say that it's good that they're taking their time with it because then you have a lot of time to like refresh yourself on the show.
Can we not bring up Star Wars anymore?
Well, that's the last I'm bringing up of
Okay,
it.
good. I have a fucking headache, man.
Oh, I hear it. I was just relating it.
No, I know it was a good reference, but like people like ever since that last episode, I still every once in a great while like a day ago, it's like The Last Jedi was like a failure of a movie. It's like holy shit, dude. It's like they're never gonna end. You're never gonna get through to them, but that's a whole different thing.
Anywho, the point being that lost my train of thought.
Oh, I apologize.
No, it's all good. What the hell was I saying?
Pacing.
Oh yeah, the pacing. So yeah, it takes time for these seasons to be finished, and not for nothing, they can't stand the same thing. They have other products they want to work on, or maybe like other ideas they want to explore. So on the time off from Rick and Morty, they're doing other things. So I don't know what else Justin Roiland's doing, but I know Dan Harmon has some other things under his belt.
Yeah, Dan Harmon. He had Harmontown, which was like a live a podcast thing that he did.
Yeah, they do other things, so they need the break. They can't just be Rick and Morty all the time because then they're gonna lose gas in a sense. They're gonna run out of fuel.
Yeah, you're not. They're like the more you force someone to do something, the more their passion is just ripped from the project.
Then they're gonna hate to do it, and then guess what? No more show. So if you let them take their time and do what they want to do, and let them get it done when they think it's right to get done, and let them work on as much as they need to work on it to get the satisfying results, then they'll be satisfied with their product, and then they'll be happy to make more.
You gotta let people work. I don't want to say you gotta let the artists do what they do.
Work at their own pace.
They as much as we want it to be amazing, they want it to be even better than what we're gonna perceive it as, and they're gonna take as much time as they feel like because like they're not perfectionists, but they certainly want the show to meet the people's expectations. And I suppose the longer you rate the wait, the more expectations are going to be raised. But at the same time, the longer they work on it, I think the better the product's going to be. The more they're going to be like, oh, that joke probably wouldn't land. This concept maybe needs to be reworked. Like, we don't like this. Like, they need to be able to fight. Like, they need to watch their own shit and be like, all right, let's change this. Let's change that. Like, that storyboarding's not going well. I don't like where that's going. Like, they need time.
Whereas if you have them rush it, they're going to be like, oh, that joke didn't really land, but we don't have time to fix it or make another one, so just leave it in anyway. We'll see what happens. And then it's garbage. Then you get mad at them for lacking of content. Then what? Then you're going to get pissed off anyway. So they're trying to, you got to work with them. Work with these people that are trying to entertain you.
I think at the end of the day,
enjoy the little things.
We can't do that every episode.
I'm not going to. That's it. No more.
I did it last episode. You did it this episode.
Can we make it a thing?
I'm going to try so hard, but if I get an opportunity,
it's like Stan Lee in the Marvel movies.
You know I'm going to take it. You know I'm going to take it. I'm going to try to... Honestly, now I'm just going to fit it in whenever. But that's besides the point. I say that's been good. I say I don't have much else to say about this. Me neither.
I want to wrap up by saying that,
taking the mic from me.
I am taking the mic. I moved it.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Is this? Are you just shutting me out? You're already moving me out of the podcast?
I'm just going to finish up. So, I want to end on, as the theme of the show is, as you know what it is, you got to enjoy the little things. You got to enjoy, just for those of you who don't like the show, and you don't like it because of the fans, then you're not really giving the show a fair chance. You really need to just give it a shot and not worry about what everybody else thinks of what you're watching. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it, and then we can't help that, and that's fine. No one's going to make you like anything. Don't let anybody else's opinion bother you.
The real key here is enjoy, because with so much shit going on every fucking day, so much negativity, so much actual garbage being put out. Like, you just have to look. You have to find some fucking positives in something, you know? You got to be able to watch Rick and Morty and be like, this is funny, without constantly in the back of your head being like, oh, those people harassed McDonald's.
Bet the internet's gonna blow this up.
Yeah, like, you just have to you have to detach yourself. You gotta fucking enjoy things, man. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but you can't let other people dictate what you like.
And it's honestly for your own benefit. Like, you'd get more enjoyment out of it rather than getting mad at or not liking something because of how a certain fan base reacts to certain things. Like, we're fans, and we even got pissed off at the fucking Szechuan sauce shit and the pickle ricks and the you're not smart enough to like this show crap. Like, these people were on your side with that. But we didn't stop watching the show because of how all these other people acted.
Yeah, we didn't start the fire.
Yes.
It was always burning. Since the world's been turning. I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
That's a good way to wrap it up. So, my friends, until next time, enjoy the little things.